All right, hi everyone. I know I'm not good at videos, and I know I look terrible right now. I've been out beekeeping most of the day today for you guys, making nukes and all that kind of good stuff. So anyway, I'm going to give you a few ideas on what to expect when expecting your nuke. And I'll talk about a couple of differences between nukes and packages. And I'm not going to be derogatory towards packages at all. I like packages, they're fine. But what I sell is my preference, which are nukes. And I'll also talk about why. So there's a certain mindset that sometimes people expect every nuke to be the same, every nuke to be perfect. And while we strive for consistency, and this year we've had better consistency than we've had in prior years, they're not going to be the same. And so here's a couple things you should expect. The perfect nuke, first of all, has a mated, laying, accepted queen in it. And that is not always the case with a package. Package is shaken bees with an introduced queen that hasn't been proven yet in most cases. So we don't know if she's going to be accepted or not, and mistakes can be made when she's being added or the package is being added to equipment. Fine, we all make mistakes. I've rolled plenty of queens in my time, so no judgment in saying this. Just know that there are differences, and for some reason, a lot of new customers think, oh, luck of the draw with a package, and they don't mind a dead queen or some dead bees or a failed package as much as they have issues with nukes, as if, not any variations with nukes. So here's what you're going to see in the perfect nuke, right? Mated, laying queen. She's accepted. She's got her eggs and larvae and her brood on 3 frames. That's what we do. We do 3 frames of brood. Now, are there occasionally more than that in these? Yeah, there might be 4 frames of brood, or 3.5 frames of brood, in which case we have a dilemma, right? The nukes could be too strong, ready to swarm. We joke sometimes and say, golden rule, the bee rescue, our nukes are swarm ready, because we do like them to be strong. But a big part of beekeeping is managing space. So instead of risking a swarmed out nuke, what we'll do a lot of times is we will add space. Knowing when to add space, knowing how to manage space, I like to think is one of the bigger things to learn in beekeeping. So what does it look like when we insert a frame? If you find a nuke in your nuke that has a frame that looks like this on one side and maybe partially drawn out on the other, I'll show you another example here. That's not a bad thing. What that means is you're getting more brood, and we've added space. See, here's one that's partially, I'll get a little better light on it, partially drawn on one side, undrawn on the other. Not a problem with the nuke, because you're getting plenty of brood, and they will emerge and they will draw that stuff out like crazy. Another thing that I'll say is some people prefer wooden frames like this one. And, I do too. I like them a little bit better. But this is a partially drawn wooden frame. But the plastic ones that you're getting this year that we're inserting are actually pre-waxed. It's a little bit hard to see in this light, but you get the right angle on it, you can see that it's pre-waxed, meaning the bees draw it out a lot faster. So I don't want you to worry, don't want you to sweat it if you have even a completely new frame and foundation put in there. It's not going to hurt anything, and it'll indicate that you have more brood than what we might typically have in our nukes, meaning that when they hatch, it'll get bigger. So let me give you a few tips. Using these tips, I had a customer a couple of years ago with one of our nukes report back 110 pounds of honey their first year. We do not guarantee this. In fact, most often we suggest you do not expect honey your first year, but a lot of that wisdom comes from packages when you're adding, to undrawn comb, undrawn foundation, and they have to draw out all their comb the first year. Nukes, we do it every year. We start nukes and produce honey from them, but here's how. All right, I'm going to give you a secret or two here. You're going to feed your nuke when you get them. Do not boil water. Do not heat the syrup too much. Do not serve it to them warm. All right, those are disastrous. Those will kill your bees. But you can buy some pre-mixed syrup from me, or you can make your own simple 1-to-1 table sugar by weight, by volume. I don't care. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect, but you take, 8 pounds of sugar to a gallon of water, right? A gallon of water weighs about 8.3 or whatever pounds. Mix it up and use that to feed them. Always feed your nuke. The next thing, I like to see you add probiotics for gut health. They've gone through a lot of stress, being moved, being split, accepting a new queen, maybe running out of space and having a frame added. So a probiotic, just like them, is for their gut health. And it'll also help them if your neighbor has been spraying a little too much herbicide or pesticide, something like that. Sometimes it'll help them recover and be stronger, okay? Make sure that you manage for pests. That goes back to space management for things like small hive beetles, but for mites, which are not typically visible to the eye, so don't ever tell me I didn't see mites. You have to check for them. You don't know how, let me know. Come to one of my workshops. We'll do mite washes together. But you need to treat for mites when it's appropriate to do so. All right, so if you manage pests, if you manage space, if you feed when it's appropriate, which is right when you get the nukes until they've built up to the point you want them to produce honey, then you'll do very well with these nukes. So back to a difference between packages and nukes. Packages, again, usually it's a unaccepted queen. At least you don't know that they're accepted. You don't know that they're viable, don't know that they're laying, don't know if they're going to lay appropriately or not. They have to start from scratch with comb. Some people prefer that because they think, oh geez, I don't want to inherit the problems of another beekeeper by getting their old comb. I don't worry about that because I know where these nukes come from. But if that's your preference, fine. But you run the risk of a queen getting killed, by the colony when she's releasing them too soon, things like that. And it also slows down production. If you can take a package, by the way, and put it on drawn comb, it'll go gangbusters, right? So that's a possibility if you like packages as well. But the nukes, again, 3 frames of brood or more, a frame of food, and some space in either a partial or an undrawn frame. That's what we're putting together. So you have an accepted laying queen, right? She's mated, so she's laying, and multiple phases of brood, from eggs all the way up to capped brood, usually in the nukes. So feed them, make sure they're healthy, make sure they're pest-free, manage the space correctly, and they'll do great. Do not leave them in those little boxes for more than a couple of days, especially if you have, more than 3 frames of brood ready to pop. That emerging brood will come out, and the young bees, if you feed, they'll finish drawing out anything else that's close by. So there you go. A little bit longer video than I anticipated. And sometimes when I'm doing videos, I might misspeak. So forgive me if I've done so. I find it really difficult to do these videos. But hopefully this helps. And I will see you guys for nuke pickups this weekend. I'm doing 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Saturday and 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Saturday evening. And then the same thing the next day on Sunday the 8th. Yes, I know it's Mother's Day, so hopefully your mom likes bees like my mom did. So anyway, that's it. That's it for now. I'll stop rambling with my video. And as always, if you have questions or concerns, reach out, Mike at Bee Rescue, and I'll try to look a little bit better on my next video. All right, take care.